All right, so we're diving into some serious fighting game tech today. We're talking about Necro'S drill.
Yeah, Necro'S drill.
From the outside, looks can be deceiving, right?
Right.
Just a spinning attack.
Yeah.
How complicated can it be? Well, we watched All About Necro'S Drill by Necro Compendium, and let me tell you, there's a lot more to this move than meets the eye.
It's one of those moves where, like, it looks simple on the surface, you know, but
Yeah.
once you start digging into the frame data, the hitbox is, oh man, it's a deep rabbit hole.
So we're not just mashing buttons here. We're talking like frame-perfect inputs, understanding hitboxes, the works.
You got it. To really master this move, you gotta think like a surgeon with a scalpel. Precision is key.
All right, then, let's dissect this thing. Give me the rundown on Necro'S drill.
So, first things first, we gotta talk input timing. You've got your normal jump and your super jump, right?
Right.
Normal jump, you're hitting that drill button 15 frames after you leave the ground. Super jump, 13 frames. But here's where things get spicy.
Oh, I love spicy. Tell me more.
Necro actually leaves the ground way before those input frames. We're talking frame 6 for normal jump, frame 7 for super jump.
So it's not just about hitting the button at the right time. It's about understanding when Necro himself is ready to drill.
Bingo! You hit that button too early, you're going to be kicking air instead of drilling faces. And trust me, no one wants that.
Okay, so timing is crucial. What else makes this move so unique? The source material kept mentioning a 16-frame cycle. Break that down for me.
The 16-frame cycle. This is where the magic happens. Think of it like a heartbeat, dictating when your drill hits and when it doesn't. So you land that drill, bam. 7 frames of glorious hit freeze.
7 frames where both you and your opponent are just stuck there feeling the impact.
You got it. Now, on frame 8, things get interesting. Your drill is still going, but the hitbox actually deactivates for a hot second.
Hold on. The hitbox disappears. So it's spinning, but it won't actually hit during those frames.
You're catching on quick. That's the beauty of it. It creates this rhythm to the move, this ebb and flow that you need to master if you want to start chaining those hits together.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all connects. So after those few frames where the hitbox is off, what happens? Does it just reappear out of thin air?
Pretty much. On frame 14, that hitbox is back with a vengeance, ready to slam into your opponent just as they're recovering from that initial hit.
So there's this tiny window, always at least 14 frames, where I have to time my next move if I want to continue the combo.
You got it. Master that 16-frame cycle, and you'll be drilling your way to victory in no time. It's all about rhythm, right?
Rhythm, timing, precision. It's a beautiful thing. But let's not forget, we're talking about multiple types of drills here. Necro's not just a one-trick Tony.
Oh, absolutely. It's like, yeah, you got your basic drill, but then you start adding the spices, you know? You got your normal drills, your cross-up drills, Okizeme drills. Each one has its own flavor, its own strategic uses.
Okay, I'm hungry for knowledge. Let's break down these drill variations, starting with those deceptively named normal drills. What's so normal about them?
Honestly, not much. The name might sound basic, but trust me, there's a surprising amount of depth here.
Light on me.
So, with your normal drill, you've got options. You can go for an early normal drill, that's where your hitbox activates before you're fully crossed over your opponent. It's risky, but land it right, and you might snag 2 hits in a row.
High risk, high reward. I like it. But what if I'm not feeling so bold? What about those late normal drills?
Late normal drills are more about consistency. You're more likely to land that second hit, but there's always a but, right?
Right.
You'll usually end up landing really close to your opponent with barely any time to react. One wrong move, and you're eating a counterattack combo platter.
Okay, so timing is critical here. Too early and you miss. Too late and you're vulnerable. But you know what? I'm up for the challenge. Speaking of challenges, I noticed the source material mentioned something interesting about using those late normal drills when the opponent is cornered. Something about hitboxes changing.
You're on top of it. Yeah, see, when your opponent's backed into a corner, those late normal drills become much more viable. Suddenly, that risky move becomes a potential combo starter. It all comes down to how the corner affects character hitboxes.
Hitboxes. Always with the hitboxes. So you're saying that depending on the character and their hurt box, they might be more susceptible to getting hit by that late normal drill when they're trapped in the corner. I mean, it makes sense. They have less room to maneuver.
Exactly. Take Hugo, for example. Big dude, big hurt box. Corner him, and suddenly that late normal drill becomes his worst nightmare.
It's like a whole different game in the corner. Fascinating stuff.
It's all about those tiny details, those subtle interactions that can make or break a combo.
Okay, so we've got Early normal drills, late normal drills, corner shenanigans. My brain is already buzzing. But we're not done with normal drills yet, are we?
Not even close. But let's switch gears for a second, talk cross-up drills. Now those are where the real mind games begin.
Cross-up drills, you say? Those sound like my kind of chaos. Let's hear it.
All right, so picture this. You go for a drill, right? But instead of just hitting them head on, you aim to zip behind them before you land.
Ooh, sneaky.
It messes with their perceptions, makes them second guess their blocking.
I love the mind games. But there's got to be a trade-off somewhere, right? Nothing in fighting games is ever that straightforward.
You're telling me. Cross-up drills do reduce pushback. That's how far back you get pushed after a move, but they often leave you at a frame disadvantage.
So there's a chance I'll open myself up to a counterattack if I'm not careful.
Exactly. You might get that sweet, sweet mix-up, but mess up the timing, and you're the one getting mixed up.
High risk, high reward. I can dig it. Speaking of high risk, high reward, you mentioned something earlier about a side-switching cross-up.
Oh, yeah. That's like the holy grail of cross-up drills.
Break it down for me.
So you do a cross-up drill, you go behind them, but then, because you timed it perfectly and hit their hurt box just right, boom, the game actually makes you switch sides with them. It's wild.
Hold up. The game forces a side switch. That sounds ridiculously hard to pull off.
It's not for beginners, that's for sure. You need to know the matchup inside and out. Spacing, timing, those character hitboxes, everything has to be perfect.
Okay, my brain is officially fried, just trying to picture that. But hey, a challenge is a challenge. So we've covered normal drills, cross-up drills, both with their own levels of craziness. What other drill-tastic tricks does Necro have up his sleeve?
Well, we gotta talk about Okizeme drills. This is all about applying pressure when your opponent is most vulnerable, right when they're getting up from a knockdown.
Okizeme, the art of the wake-up attack. I love it. So we're talking about those tense moments where they're trying to get their bearings and bam, we hit them with a spinning drill of doom before they can even blink.
You got it. And just like with normal drills, you've got options. Do you want to be sneaky or do you want to go for the throat? Ambiguous drills, for example, are all about the mind games. You're aiming to almost hit them with the drill, making them panic and guess their next move.
Oh, the psychological warfare. It's beautiful. But what if I want to hit them with something a little more convincing?
Then it's time for the meaty drill. No games here, just pure, unadulterated drill-powered punishment. Time it right, and they're eating that drill for breakfast.
Meaty drills. I like the sound of that. Okay, so far we've got normal drills, cross-up drills, Okizeme drills. It's like a whole buffet of pain.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling we're not done yet, are we?
Not even close. We've still got knockback drills, runaway drills, and bait drills to cover. Each one has its own unique uses and strategic advantages.
All right, lay it on me.
Knockback drills, they're all about punishing those opponents who think they can just chill in the air and be untouchable.
Oh, I know that feeling. They're all like, try to hit me, you can't reach me up here.
Exactly. But with a perfectly timed knockback drill, you can turn the tables. Hit them in the air, and it throws them into this awkward knockback state. Their momentum is gone. It's your chance to strike before they can recover.
Sounds incredibly satisfying. What's the best way to capitalize on that opening? Any move in particular?
Honestly, most of Necro's regular attacks are a bit too slow to connect during that brief window. You're better off going for a Magnetic Storm, his super move. It'll reel them right in, setting you up for a devastating combo.
Magnetic Storm to the rescue. It's like the glue that holds all these drill shenanigans together.
Yeah.
Okay, what about those runaway drills? They sound almost cowardly.
Yeah.
In a tactical kind of way, of course.
Hey, sometimes a strategic retreat is the best offense. Runaway drills are all about creating some breathing room, especially if you're getting rushed down. You use the drill, usually the shorter version, and scoot back to a safer distance. It's not something you want to rely on too heavily, but in a pinch, it can save your life.
Gotcha. So it's like a get-out-of-jail-free card, not your main strategy. That makes sense. Now, those bait drills we talked about earlier, those sound seriously sneaky.
Bait drills are the ultimate mind game. You're basically pretending to mess up your drill, making your opponent think they've got an opening to punish you.
And then, bam. Surprise drill party. I can already see the salt flowing. Okay, I'm sold. How do we set up this masterpiece of deception?
It's all about the timing. You do your drill, but you intentionally miss, and then right as they're moving in to capitalize on your mistake, you hit them with a quick attack.
Beautiful. It's like a bait and switch, but with more spinning and a whole lot more pain.
You got it.
Man, we've covered so much ground here. Normal drills, cross-up drills, Okizeme drills, knockback, runaway, bait. I need to take notes.
It's a lot to take in. But There's one more critical element we got to talk about. One that ties everything together.
Hit me with it.
Timing.
Timing. The bane of my existence in every fighting game ever. It's always about the timing.
It's not enough to just know the moves, you gotta know when to use them, down to the frame. Your approach, your jump timing, the exact frame you activate the drill, even your opponent's wake-up frames, it all matters.
It's like this intricate dance. If you miss a step, the whole routine falls apart.
Exactly. The Necro Compendium actually had some super helpful diagrams breaking down the frame data for all these different scenarios. Definitely worth checking out.
All right, so practice makes perfect. No pressure. But it sounds like mastering those frame-perfect inputs is the difference between looking like a pro and getting absolutely demolished. Speaking of pressure, let's talk about the 3-frame rule. That sounded kind of scary.
It's all about those precious few frames after your drill connects, or in some cases, doesn't connect. Remember how we talked about landing on that ground contact frame?
Yeah.
Well, the exact frame you land on determines how much time you have to act before your opponent can move again. We call it frame advantage. And trust me, it's a big deal.
Okay, so if I land on the wrong frame, I'm basically asking to get counterattacked.
Pretty much. You want to land on that magical 8th frame. That gives you a solid 3-frame window to work with, plenty of time to land a follow-up attack and continue your combo. But if you land on frame 9, you've only got 2 frames. Frame 10, you're down to a single solitary frame. Talk about pressure.
Every frame counts. Man, no wonder people spend hours and hours in the lab with this stuff.
It takes dedication to master those frame-perfect combos.
Well, I'm feeling inspired. This has been incredible. I feel like I've gone from drill novice to, well, maybe not a master, but definitely an apprentice. Any final words of wisdom for our listeners before we wrap things up?
Don't be afraid to experiment, to get in there and get your hands dirty. Necro's drill is a complex beast, but that's what makes it so rewarding to master.
I'm with you there. Embrace the chaos. Thanks for diving into the nitty-gritty of Necro's drill. With me, this has been eye-opening, to say the least.
Anytime.
And there you have it, folks. Everything you ever wanted to know about Necro's drill. Now go forth and spin to win. Until next time.